Now, welcome to the
Recording
first
in progress.
Meeting of the second term of Parliament. The meeting today will be dealing with three items, so to speak. First, we'll receive legal advice on the protected disclosure complaint by the DG, Mr. Khatatso Hlakudi, to the Speaker of the National Assembly. Secondly, we'll also consider and adopt our second term program.
Also enjoins the committee to inform the complainant in writing on a regular basis at intervals of not more than 2 months at a time, that the decision is still pending. I note, Chair, that the committee has failed to meet the above mentioned prescribed timeframes. However, not all has been lost, in that the Act also provides that in any event within 6 months after the referral has been made, the committee should, in writing, inform the complainant of the decision to investigate this matter, and where possible, the timeframe within which the investigation will be completed, or not to investigate the matter and the reasons for such decision. Of course, if the committee, in its wisdom, feels that the matter will not be investigated, the committee has to provide reasons to the complainant. Now, Chair, if you look at Rule 2271C of the NA rules, it provides that a portfolio committee, which is this committee, may monitor, investigate, inquire into, and make recommendations concerning any such executive organ of state, constitutional institution, other body or institution, including the legislative program, budget, rationalization, restructuring, functioning, organization, structure, staff, and policies of such organ of state, institution, or other body or institution. So that's what Rule 2217 empowers, this committee to do. Now, Chair, in our opinion, we say, Chair, that accountability is one of the founding values of our Constitution. And Section 1D adopts a multi-party system of democratic government to ensure accountability, responsiveness, and openness. And of course, Section 41411C provides that all spheres of government and all organs of state within its sphere must provide effective, transparent, accountable, and coherent government. Now, Chair, I want to refer you to the EFF case, EFF versus the Speaker, the 2016 case, at paragraph 1. The Constitutional Court emphasized the importance of the principle of accountability. And this is what the court said, Chair, regarding the importance of accountability. One of the crucial elements of our constitutional vision is to make a decisive break from the unchecked abuse of state power and resources that was virtually institutionalized during the apartheid era. To achieve this goal, we adopted accountability, the rule of law, and the supremacy of the Constitution as values of our constitutional democracy. For this reason, public office bearers ignore their constitutional obligations at their peril. This is so because constitutionalism, accountability, and the rule of law constitute the sharp and mighty sword that stands ready to chop the ugly head of impunity off its stifled neck. Now, Chair, our submission, Chair, is that the NA has an open-ended mandate in the performance of its oversight of the executive. And of course, Chair, we refer you to the same case that I quoted, the FF case versus the Speaker of the National Assembly, where Chief Justice Mogoeng, as he then was, as follows. He is holding the executive accountable, a primary and undefined obligation imposed on the National Assembly. That's the question. And the answer is it says yes. For the Constitution neither gives detail on how the National Assembly is to discharge the duty to hold the executive accountable, nor are the mechanisms for doing so outlined or a hint given as to their nature and operation. Both sections 42.3 and 55.2 do not define the structures within which the National Assembly is to operate in its endeavor to fulfill its obligations. It has been given leeway to determine how best to carry out its constitutional mandate. How to go about this is all left to the discretion of the National Assembly. Now, Chair, there are two principles of natural justice that need to be vindicated in this matter. The first one, of course, is the Audi principle, the Audi alteram partem principle. And of course, from my interactions with the committee secretary or committee secretariat, this has already been given to the minister. And of course, the minister has furnished the committee with a comprehensive response. Now, the second one is the nemo iudex principle. That, of course, no person can judge a case in which they have an interest. And I think that's why, Chair, this case is serving now before this committee. Now, Chair, the question that we need to deal with now is what is to be done. Now you will agree with me, Chair, that this opinion has been overtaken by certain events. One being the fact that the minister has been proactive in terms of providing his response. But of course, Chair, we thought it prudent that the complainant must be given a chance or an opportunity to exercise his right of reply. And my understanding is that there's correspondence that has been sent to him in order for him to have that bite, on the chair. Now, we said in terms of our advice that the committee should write to the complainant, informing the complainant of the steps it is currently undertaking.
Mr. Techana, you disappeared from.
Hello. Can you hear me, Chair? Hello. Hi, Chair. Mr. Muchumi, can you hear me?
We can hear you. I think there's a network issue on the part of the chair, but on our side, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Shall I continue?
Mr. Techana?
Yes, Chair.
Mr. Techa?
Yes, Chair. I can hear you, Chair.
Is the problem with me?
Yes, Chair. I'm told that the problem is with you.
Oh, the problem is with me?
That's what I'm told, Chair. Other committee members can hear me.
Yeah, I disappeared for some time. I thought it's you, but later on I disappeared. Where are you now? You are still on.
No, I'm finalizing now, Chair. I'm charting the way forward.
Lord, then. It means I've missed a lot from you. Okay, continue. As long as our members.
Yes, Chair. So, Chair, in terms of our advice, we had said that the committee should put the said allegations to the minister and request the minister to provide a written response to it. And I'm told that, Chair, that has already been done. And of course, I said that correspondence has been addressed to the complainant to say that the complainant must, giving the complainant his right, to exercise his right of reply. And lastly, but not least, Chair, it is our view, Chair, that it is only after the committee has engaged with the minister's response and Mr. Tlakuti's reply that the committee will be in a position to concretely address, this issue. So I think, Chair, we're saying that at this stage, Chair, the issue is still premature, and the reason is simple, that the committee awaits a reply from Mr. Tlakuti. And of course, once the committee is in receipt of that reply, the committee will be able to then chart a way forward regarding what it wants to do with this matter. I'll end it there, Chair, and of course, take questions. But as I said, Chair, my questions will only be limited to this opinion. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Techane. Honorable members, that is the input from our legal advice. I will check if members would like to interact with this presentation. I'm checking here, no hand yet. Or let me use the normal routing of just going through the list of members.
Mr. Mkhwanazi has raised a hand, Chair.
I've seen that. Honorable Mkhwanazi, can you kickstart? Honorable Mkhwanazi.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Good morning to honorable members, officials in the platform, and everyone in the platform. Firstly, Chair, I think I need to thank the presentation. I'm trying to open my. Thank the presentation from the legal advice. I think the legal advice has made it clear that in this case, we're not just dealing with any matter, but we are dealing with a matter of national importance. And the committee cannot merely ignore it. I think based on that, Chair, I want to also, don't want to be taken up, maybe discuss all the matters and all the submission and all the documents that we have received based on the emotions. I want to propose, Chair, that we stick to the legal advice and wait for both replies to be available to the committee and the committee to deal with the both replies. But I want to check, Chair, on the issue of a time frame. Maybe we can be advised. That will be my take for now, Chairperson. Thank you.
Honorable Kachalia.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, there was a reference to the principle of audi alteram partem, and in that regard, there was a submission or an allegation, set of allegations made by the former Director General. And
sorry, Honorable Kachalia.
Yes, sir.
I'm living under load shedding. It's consistently, if sometimes I don't get a person properly, or I missed, or I'm kicked out, I will ask Honorable Gumede to stand by for me while I'm out of the platform. I'm seriously foreseeing that I'm going towards that kind of a problem. Can you continue, Honorable Kachalia?
Yes, just let me recap briefly that in terms of the principle of audi alteram partem, which was referred to, there was a set of allegations in the first instance made by the former Director General, and in terms of the principle, there was a reply by the Minister. In my view, in my humble view, that covers the issue of audi alteram partem. One side has made allegations, the other side has replied to it. There is no provision under that particular provision for a second bite at the cherry for the complainant now to come back and say, I think this or I think that. We have covered it, and we now have to proceed forthwith. This is any other issue would be delaying the matter, and delaying this matter in this way is not acceptable. We have the facts, we have the complaint, we have the response, and this committee must now do its job. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Honorable Kachalia, thank you so much. Honorable Maotwe.
No, thank you very much, Chair. Chair, having listened to Mr. Dejana and gone through the documents that were circulated, I think we as this committee should all come together and say to Parliament that we need to take a stand that there should be a parliamentary inquiry into the sale of SA and all allegations that are leveled there in the letter and the disclosure that was submitted by the Mr. Tlhakudi, because these are very serious allegations and they can't just be left. So I think we should not. I hear when he says let's wait for the response, but if we are to wait for the response, we need to have timelines. But I think all of us as the members of Parliament, let's take a stand that says we ought to have a parliamentary inquiry onto these allegations, focusing on the whole transaction and the evaluation of assets and all that. And also, secondly, Chair, to look at the appointment of the new board and actually suggest that it be put on ice for now until we've all satisfied ourselves that everything is above board. So that is my submission, Chair. I don't think we should waste any more time. If we take the route of course, allowing the parties to respond, let's put timelines. But as a matter of principle, let's all agree that there must be an inquiry onto this matter. And secondly, let's write to, through you, Chairperson, to the Speaker to say, let's understand what happened with the board itself. And if there's any fishy things that happened, then it must be dissolved. And this process must be started from scratch. I think we've got those powers, as Mr. Andile was saying earlier on, as members of Parliament. So that will be my submission, Chair. I thank you. Secretary, Secretary is gone.
Hello. I'm not sure whether do I need to come in since the chair has just disappeared, and whether members agreed that I will have to fill in when he has experienced the problems. Unfortunately, I don't have, if I were to do that, unfortunately, I don't have the list. So the best thing for me is I will have to ask members to then raise their hands so that at least I can ask them to ask questions when I see the hands. I don't want to be biased, not unless I call parties. So that will be better. We had Maotwe. Then let's go for UDM. If Gwangwa is in. Gwangwa, Honorable Gwangwa.
Mr. Gumede?
Yes.
I think it's going to be safe for members to raise their hands because some of the members are not present in the meeting that you might call.
Yeah, it has always been the case that some others are not present, and then, but anyway, the chair would call them. If there is quietness, anyway, we go to them. But anyway, let's do that as well. But ours is to satisfy each and everyone that people have been given an opportunity. Right, so the quietness, it means Honorable Gwangwa is not present. I'm not sure whether Honorable Kachalia wants to have a second bite. If it's a second bite, I may not allow that. I can only allow him if he wants to advise. Can I then give you an opportunity then, Honorable Kachalia?
Thank you, sir. In the absence of other hands, all I wish to say is that I support the Honourable Maotwe's position that there needs to be an urgent timeline here and that we need to move forward urgently on this matter, and it needs to be dealt with by way of serious inquiry by Parliament. And I propose that we move forward on that matter insofar as it relates.
No. But Honorable Kachalia, I'm being robbed here. In fact, I should have, that's why I'm saying you have been given a bite. Let's hear others. It was
Okay,
on a prerogative of, yes, now I see the hands. Can we possibly then give others a chance? We have noted what we are commenting on. Let's give others then a chance. And Jablile Mkhwanazi is coming back for the second time. Let me see those that have not, in fact, spoken. All it's one party. Let me give it to Nkosinathi Dlamini.
Thanks, Chair. Morning, colleagues. I think I must welcome the presentation, though I joined a bit late. It raises, I think the issue at hand raises two fundamental separate issues but joint. One is the legal aspect of the issue at hand. Is this a protected disclosure in terms of the law? That's the one part. The second part is, what do we do about the allegations stated in this correspondence that has been brought to us, whether it's a protected disclosure or not? Must we act on it? Must we just ignore it just because it does not conform to the precepts of the law? These are the two fundamental questions. But then again, we must then be able to say and define our role as a committee. I think more than anything, we need to be able to deal with facts, not rumors. What has been presented is not accompanied by any evidence to support it. That's one. Two, let us not forget that we have the responsibility to protect the integrity of our work as a committee. The complainant in this matter has been presenting to this committee on matters of SAA, not once, not twice. And some of the issues that he's raising now are the issues that the committee has been raising in terms of the sale of SAA. And he provided responses which are contrary to what he's saying now. Now, this then creates another problem. Are we going to be able to protect the committee, or are going to allow the committee to be used in a battle between the minister and the former DG? Because really, how sure are we that he was lying then, he's not lying now? The integrity of the DG is highly compromised. That then requires us to make an informed decision in terms of us going forward. That's one. Two, on the submission by Honorable Maoto, that we must venture into saying the appointment of the board must be halted and whatnot. I don't know. Would it be on the basis of the newspaper article or on the basis of what the former DG is alleging, which has seemingly been proven to be true, but not yet proven, in that we don't know the terms of reference of the board. We don't want to pull the committee into a space where it will be endorsing rumors, gossip, basically. I think we must be careful in our approach. Thanks, Chair.
Secretary, it looks like both Gumede and Magata, they are not here now.
I have muted myself. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. So I better leave it on. So I was, yeah, okay, I'm sorry. May we go for then Honorable Isaac?
Thank you, Acting Chair. Good morning, colleagues. Chairperson, mine is just very brief in that I wanted to just seek some clarity from the presenter. Mr. Tlakudi alleges that the 60 days period of suspension has elapsed and that it is now unconstitutional. I'd just like to hear his comments on that, saying that he referred in his initial remarks to various sections of the Act, etc. So that is my questions for now. Thank you.
Okay. May I go for Honorable Komane?
Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning, honorable members and our guests and the legal advisors. Chair, I don't think we should dwell much into whether we are having hearsays or not, because that is why Honorable Maoto and Honorable Kashadia has suggested that we investigate these matters. It is up to it is then we would say these are allegations that are not are unfounded or not, because now yes we are saying the complainant has not submitted evidence, but then as we investigate, evidence should be brought forward, and then that is when we are going to make a determination. And that it is very prudent that we do that now. Hence, I agreed to Honorable Mauto's statement and Honorable Kashadia to say we need to put in time frames of when is that right of reply expected, and then we should then investigate the matter as the committee. It is not a matter of us here taking yeses or not, but we should satisfy ourselves. We should seek evidence. Until then, we would then say this is without evidence, or there's evidence, and this is what should be done with the allegations. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm left with two speakers now, right? So I'll give to Honorable Kachalia, which we have heard part of it, and then the last person will be Honorable Mkhwanazi. If there is anyone I may have omitted, please may that person show his or her hand. Honorable member, show his or her hand. But so far, I've got these two hands. Honorable Kachalia.
Thank you, Honorable Gumede and Chair. Chair, this committee in the past has accepted the minister's reasoning for non-disclosure. These allegations provide us, inter alia, with an opportunity to test and interrogate aspects of disclosure and non-disclosure. Given the importance of the issue and our duties as outlined, this is of extreme importance, and we need to move forward on this with urgency. Secondly, the appointment of the board is a separate issue that has not been raised, but it is pertinent in that I would like to know, as part of that interrogation, how a 49% shareholder can appoint a board. And that relates to the non-disclosure of aspects of the 51% shareholder who is sitting in the wings and the darkness, which we are trying to unveil here. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Kachalia. May we go to Honorable Mkhwanazi?
Thank you, Chairperson. I don't think if we understand each other, we differ that much, even if we differ. Like I said in my first proposal, can we talk to the timelines of waiting for the reply and allow the process as per the legal advice? I said that when I first make my submission, Chairperson. So that's why I said I don't think we differ. My issue when I raised that is that I am afraid that we'll discuss the other things on top of this issue. So I think we need to separate the issues. We are dealing with the legal advice that we requested as the committee, and let us deal with that. But on top of that, there are events that has happened, for example, the issue of the board and the issue of the former DG submissions to this committee. I think if we can stick to the timelines, because the matter is urgent, of which the legal advisor must advise us on the issue of the timelines, so that you wait for the reply of the complainant, the local and the DG. Then we deal with them. We deal with the matters. If we want to add other matters, I think it is within this committee's right to deal with the matters of the SAA comprehensively. So, Chair, I still make my submission that we stick to the timelines. Maybe the legal advisor must advise us, or we did discuss within ourselves the issue of the timelines. We all agree that the matter is very urgent and it needs our attention. Thank you so much, Chairperson. I'm sorry about my voice.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mkhwanazi. Let me, perhaps I wanted to make my comments, but anyway, I definitely would not, because now I'm the chair. But I would have to guide the members, right? The legal advice. Okay, firstly, let me say we are within the 6 months period. It was November, I'm not sure when, but I think it was towards the ending of November when we were receiving this. It was somewhere on the 22nd or 28th. We are currently on, it's May. Yeah, it's April, yes, April. We're on April. So it means we are within the period with few days left, if it's not 5 months, but we're still within as per the advice by the legal advisor. So we do comply. And unfortunately, both members, as per the requirements, it could be the DG as well as the minister. They are not here. So according to the legal advisor is, we allow them an opportunity to come before the committee. We ask them whatever we want to ask. It will only be thereafter that the committee will then take a decision. Whether it's a decision that we go for an inquiry, or it's a decision that we take any other sort of kind of options that we may have available. But that's that. Even if we wanted to discuss the matter, unfortunately, we are unable to do so, because both members, we have not interrogated them and all those matters. The issue of a board, yes, is an extra item, but at the time when we are discussing the matters, in fact, we will have to decide, which in fact I may say the legal advisor may advise us on those aspects, whether we can add some other issues or items that we may want perhaps investigated. What's said among us here is we have requested quite some time, well, in the process, that inquiries be conducted. Whether the department or the suspended DG or whoever, in fact, all those requests have not been forthcoming. So we cannot just willy-nilly, forget my term, we cannot just say, let's take a decision now and go for an inquiry. Why would this then be prioritized? Whereas others that the committee has been requesting have not been forthcoming. So those are all other issues that we need to consider. But whether we go the inquiry or we go something else, we will have to, at our next meeting or any other day or time, that we may decide as a committee to meet, because I've seen when reading the reports we received, it says the committee has a latitude to decide when it is meeting, where it is meeting. If we decide to call a meeting tomorrow or over the weekend or at night or whatever time, yes, the chairperson will in fact do that and convene us so that we discuss. So in line with the recommendation by the advisor, let's allow the opportunity that let's get all these responses. Let's be sure that those responses, if it's a responses from the minister and the response from the DG, we get them, and then let's decide when are we meeting, and then we take a decision thereafter. The question that Honorable Kachalia asked about the second bite from the DG, we will then, I think, what we need to do then, the legal advisor is as well to advise us on that, because does it then preclude the minister to ask for a second bite if the other person was given the second bite? So those will be the guidance that we need. But other than that, for today, is that we take the advice. From my own view, is that we take the advice, we get all that, the chairperson convenes the meeting. It will only be at that meeting that we then decide what route we take, whether it's an inquiry or whatever, and then we take a decision. We need then to make sure that we fast track the decision. So may I then give it to the legal advisor to guide us on these matters? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Committee and Honorable members.
Chair, are you back? No, we are not winning. We are not winning. Let's give it to legal advisor, please.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Committee. I think the first question was asked by Honorable Mkwanas, and it relates to the timeframes. Perhaps members didn't have enough time, I mean, to go through the documentation that was sent by the committee secretariat. I think yesterday, if I'm not. There's a letter which was addressed by the chair to Mr. Tlagudi, I think on Monday. And that letter gives him 10 working days, which means up until next week, Friday, to provide a reply to the minister's response. Now, the second question is the question from Honorable Kachalia regarding the Audi. Honorable Kachalia is correct about the fact that the allegations were made, and of course, the minister responded. But sometimes, Honorable Kachalia, what happens, particularly in application proceedings, I think you've seen this, where the alleging party provides a founding affidavit, the other party provides an answering affidavit, and then the alleging party is still given a chance to provide a replying affidavit. And that enriches the process in the sense that sometimes you may find that some of the issues which were raised in the answer were not properly canvassed in the founding allegations or founding affidavit. But if you look at section 57 of the Constitution, it says that the National Assembly may determine and control its internal arrangements, proceedings, and procedures. And that is further amplified in Rule 167F of the National Assembly rules, which says that for the purposes of performing its functions, a committee may, subject to the Constitution, legislation, the other provisions of these rules and resolutions of the Assembly, determine its own working arrangements. So my point is, I was putting this as a proposition, because you will remember that when I started, I said, mine is to give you a framework, because look, the fact of the matter is that it's the committee that decides. It's not me who decides. I provide advice, and of course, committee has got a right to reject or to accept it. Now, Honorable Mautwe spoke about the issue of the inquiry. And of course, when I concluded, I said, I think it is premature for now to be speaking of that, primarily because we're saying that there's a letter already which has been addressed. And of course, its deadline comes to an end in next week Friday. So I think it is only after having looked at all this information that, of course, such a pronouncement can be made. And I think Honorable Mautwe as well spoke about timeframes. And I think Honorable Kumede touched on this when he said we're still within the 6 months, but the fact of the matter is that there's a letter which has been sent out, and inherent in that letter, even if that's an unstated premise of that letter, is the fact that the committee is doing something about it, and of course is the fact that by next week Friday, that reply must be with the committee, and of course the committee has to chart a way forward. Now, Honorable Dlamini speaks about whether we can refer to this as a protected disclosure or not. And I think if you check Section 9 of the PDA, which speaks about general protected disclosures, this in my view qualifies as it. But even if we're not speaking on, even if we're not at a stage where we're saying this is a protected disclosure or not, the fact of the matter is, honorable members, there's information which has been put in front of you by a very senior official, accounting officer of a government department. And the issue here is simply is that can you just dip your heads in the sand and ignore it? And I think our advice is very clear: is that if you read the state capture report, Justice Zondo, there's this question that emerges all the time. He asks this question, and the question begs, where was Parliament when these things were happening? And I think the reason why we're saying that we can't just look the other way. The fact of the matter is that the committee will have to engage with this, and of course, in its own wisdom, what form this needs to take. Honorable Isaac speaks about the 60 days, I'm sorry, whether they've lapsed or not. I think, Honorable Isaac, for now, that question doesn't arise because we're not at a stage where we're dealing with the merits of this now. I think we're on the procedural aspects of it. The issue being there's a matter there's information that has been put before you, and what do you do about that information? And I think Honorable Komane was just making comments. And of course, the second bite from Honorable Kachalia was also a comment. And the second bite from Honorable Nkwanas as well. It was just a question of addressing on the timeframes. And I think I've captured that quite aptly and succinctly. I'll stop there for now, Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Members, we then say we'll report to the chairperson to fast track the second meeting, where all of us will be able then to make an appropriate decision as to how we take the process forward. With your permission, then I would...
Mr. Kumede?
Yes, I'm with you. Yes, sir.
This is Disang. I just wanted to... We have just received an email now. I have shared it with the chair and Mr. Andile Techana. It's from Mr. Tlhakudi. So I wanted to read the email into the meeting. It's got to do with the letter that we sent to him on the 14th. It seems like the committee doesn't have to wait for him to reply. Because if the chair allows, may I read this email? It may assist the committee to take a decision on the matter.
Read it for the benefit of the members and circulate it among us as well.
Yeah, I will circulate it to the members. It says, dear Mr. Muchumi, our discussion on Friday, 14 April 2023 on the attached correspondence as reference. The correspondence is the one that Mr. Techan is talking about, where we give him the right of reply. The matter, it says, number one, the matter should be handled transparently and an open hearing is the only way forward. This is not a bilateral discussion between myself and the minister. It says the committee is integral to the engagement and should make the ultimate determination based on information they would have gathered. The committee should invite all affected parties in the SAA transaction to come and give their input. The committee, for instance, may direct that other parties within the state to take the work forward and report back on their respective assignments. I would ever advise that the committee, with haste as these agencies, may choose to proceed on their own. That is the email from Mr. Tlakudi. So it doesn't look like Mr. Tlakudi will be sending a right of reply.
Thank you very much. It would have been appropriate that we get a similar letter from the minister, because we don't want to be one-sided. But well, anyway, the only thing that I may suggest to members is that we note the letter, let the letter be circulated when we have the formal meeting, because even if we say we continue, but it will be, it's not, the other side is not aware that we will be deciding to continue. They are waiting for us to invite them, which in fact, I'm expecting that he will accept the invitation when we want to probe some other aspects. He won't run away. It will be mandatory that he comes to us and interrogate or ask him relevant questions that will assist us making the decision. So I wish to recommend to the members that we note the letter, and secondly, it becomes the subject of the next meeting, which the chair will then convene. So that's the proposal I'm making. I may require a concurrence from members if they've got a similar view as I propose. Thank you, Mr. Disa.
Chair.
Yes.
Yeah, my hand is up for some time, but I didn't want to interrupt. Chair, it's Mr. Andile himself is confused, because we are saying our proposal was that as a matter of principle, let's agree that we need to have a parliamentary inquiry. Now, he can't say it's premature on the basis that there's a letter that was sent and it's only coming, the response is expected next week, Friday. We are not saying the inquiry is starting tomorrow, but we are saying as a matter of principle, as this committee, particularly with the judgment of the Constitutional Court that said Parliament ought to hold the executive accountable. Let us as members of Parliament hold the executive accountable. And we are not saying the inquiry should start tomorrow. We know that it won't start tomorrow, but we are saying we are sitting now, Chairperson. It's Wednesday today. This meeting is scheduled to sit to discuss this matter and come up with a decision on what is the way forward. The way forward can be that the chair will communicate the next day of the meeting. Then why were we called here? We're called here to make a decision on what do we do with the matter that has been tabled before us as honorable members who took an oath on office to hold the executive accountable. That's one. Number two, it's not true that there is no evidence. It's not true. And we must even shy away from wanting to want evidence even before the inquiry. Why do you want to evidence when a person of the stature of the DG is giving you a report of the department he was heading? And then you say, no, those allegations are unfounded. How do you know they're unfounded if you are not doing the inquiry? So, Chair, I propose that we take a decision. I know the chair is not here, but you are chairing now. You accepted to chair. So you assume that responsibility of the chair. You can't always be referring to the chair. He's not here. You are down the chair. Let's move in one voice as the committee to say, let's hold the executive accountable. There is an issue on the table. Let us have a parliamentary inquiry on the issue that is at hand. Otherwise, we are going to be accused later on. The same way members of parliament were accused by the Zondo Commission and by the Constitutional Court, by the way, on the matter of the EFF and the speaker, that you ought to hold the executive accountable. We are given that opportunity as members to do that through a formal and official signed letter submitted by the person of the DG of the entity. So I just wanted to address those issues, Chair. Not unless if we are going to protect our very own at all costs, as long as they are a member of our party, then we will protect them. Then you are actually making this parliament a Mickey Mouse. That no, for as long as we've got the majority in parliament, if a member who comes from my party is doing wrong things, I don't even want to listen to what the issues are. You've already come to a conclusion that no, this matter doesn't go anywhere. You've actually already exonerated the accused. But we are saying we are here to serve the people of South Africa from different political parties. We agree, but there's an issue on the table. Let the people of South Africa know the truth of what happened. And if we are saying, let's wait for next week Friday for the response, well, the response just came in now. So there's no need for us to wait for next week Friday. Now we've got the response. It was read in the record by the secretary of this committee. We allowed it. We had all of it. He's going to send it to us. And then it means we don't have to wait for next week Friday. We can somehow make a decision now that we want to have this matter taken through a parliamentary inquiry. That's my submission, Acting Chairperson. And welcome, Chair. I see you.
Let's make it clear here. One, I would request that, Honorable Mote, you withdraw the word confused, that Andile is confused. I want to believe that that one is not parliamentary. We have a person here who's advising us and bringing the matter that he is confused.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
No, he's confused. There's nothing unparliamentary about saying confused.
For the sake of progress.
When is it unparliamentary? Since when?
For the sake of progress.
No, you are wrong.
Confused. How can we be advised by a person who is confused?
I'm not insulting Mr. Andile. I'm saying he's confused. There's nothing unparliamentary about it. Don't come and put words here that you say they're unparliamentary. Where is it unparliamentary? And I've explained why I'm saying he's confused. I've explained why I'm saying he's confused. And he never took an issue with it, by the way. Why do you have an issue with it?
Also, I haven't allowed him. You are the only one that has spoken.
Yeah, but I'm saying why does it bother you to say the person
there must be one chair in this meeting.
When is confused?
Because I'm the chair. I'm the chair. I'm going to call you to order.
You are the chair, but I'm telling you that there's nothing unparliamentary about saying somebody's confused. There's nothing unparliamentary about it. If you catch feelings, that's your problem. That's not me. That's your problem.
I'm seated here as the chair. I'm saying that word sounds unpalatable. Because we can't be advised by a confused person.
I'm telling you that Mr. Andile is confused.
No, secondly, let's make sure that you don't be judgmental on this
Chairperson, if maybe we can come in. Chair. Chairperson.
Talk.
Babkumet,
yes,
can I come in?
Talk.
Yes, I am requesting greetings to yourself and members of the portfolio. I don't think it's going to assist the process that we are trying to do here, Chair, with you and Honorable Mawotwe exchanging words. Maybe you should refer to whatever advice, whether the word confused is parliamentary or not parliamentary, but I don't think it's an insult in any case. So I'm thinking, Chair, for the sake of progress in the meeting, can you just maybe try and get maybe or refer whether, but I've never had that confusion is unparliamentary. Thank you very much, Chair.
May we continue? Secondly, I'm saying Honorable Maudwe cannot be judgmental on the matter. I thought we're only moving in unison. Now that because somebody is our colleague, is ANC, we don't want to deal with the matter. That thing is not there. We've been given the advice by the legal person and we are following it. And I've even said it's only one letter that has come before us. The other party has not given us the letter, which in fact could have the reason then to say, let's consider perhaps talking the matter. We cannot. As the chair seated this side, and this letter, it's only coming now. It's only coming now. So to me, it may even raise suspicions as well. So I don't want to debate it too much, but anything here is, let's just take the advice. Whether the chair, whether this one has responded, no one disagreed that we may go. I have even said, this committee has asked for inquiries before, but those inquiries were not activated. We don't know the reason why those inquiries were not activated, but now we attempt as if we don't want the inquiries, which will be incorrect in a sense. All what we want to do, we want to be satisfied that we are doing the correct thing. We want to listen to both of them. I've further said we will have to subpoena the DG to come and be interrogated if he doesn't want to come before us. So those are all processes. In fact, if the legal person says that was going to enrich our findings and enable us to take an appropriate decision. That's a reason I've said to, I've asked Mr. Tisang to say, please do include that letter and circulate it among us. Right? So anyway, I was in the process of saying we excuse the legal person. Processes will then be referred to him when we need him. And thank you very much for your presentation and your advices as well. You will be notified in
Mr.
due
Gumet,
course.
sorry, Mr. Gumet.
I'm with you.
Yes, the chair is back on the platform. Perhaps you can hand over to the chair of the committee.
No, you
Then I'll
can't
just-
tell me that. You can't tell me. He hasn't indicated.
I'm advising to you, he's here.
No,
he's up.
no, you are not
Giving
my
you-
advisor.
You are acting, man.
You
It's
are
finished.
not my advisor.
Give Mr.
But
Magaga
when
the
he
chair.
comes
the chair.
back and indicate that he is back, I'll give it back to him. But it can't be told by you. You did not ask me to chair the meeting.
It's
Chair.
a fact. Stay on the platform, chair. I don't know why you are so emotional. Like, relax.
I'm
The
not
chair is
emotional.
here.
I'm not emotional. I'm definitely not emotional.
Chair,
Right?
may I
But honestly, Chair, Honorable Mawuto must just relax, man. It's not
No,
your
no.
birthday. The chair will indicate
Chair,
when he's able to
Chair,
chair.
I asked whether I could come in before Honorable Dlamini started speaking.
No. You have not
Chair,
touched
may I come in?
I would have notified. Your hand came in when Mr. Damine started commenting.
No, sir, it was there way before. Chair,
No.
and I want to comment. You said you are releasing the legal advice. I'm saying, Chair, my comment requires the legal advisor to be here because it concerns him. So I'm asking you not to release him. That's all. And then I will make my comment when you call me. Thank you.
Damine, come in.
Thanks, Chair. I think this letter that has just been read creates another problem, because if you want to interpret it as that rule was outlined earlier, that's out the alteram patam rule. it means the minister must also be afforded the same opportunity. But then again, this matter wasn't brought to the minister, it was brought to the committee. It's for us to process and deal with it. Let's gravitate towards finding a solution. If we must convene the DG, he must come and maybe invite the minister and then put it to the minister, whatever the allegation that the DG is posing. Then we move forward in that fashion. Thanks, Chair.
Honorable Kachalia.
Chair, with regard to what you said earlier and to what Honorable Dlamini has just said, I wish to say that the facts of the matter are quite simple. There was an allegation made. There was an allegation made by the former Director General. There was a reply from the minister. The legal advisor then said, in response to what I raised earlier, that the process would be enriched if there would be a reply afforded to the Director General in view of what the minister has said. The former Director General then replied saying he has nothing to say. Now, you can't ask the minister to respond to something which says it has nothing to say. Otherwise, we're going to have a tennis match going forward into the future. That is not the purpose of Audi Alteram Partem. And that's why I want the legal advisor's response to this, so that we could move ahead with speed and appropriately to do our job to investigate what is necessary. Thank you.
I'm not sure. I'll give it to the legal advisor if he is still present. But we've gone past the stage. With the legal advisor said, that's the advice he gave us, that the two members come before the committee, and then we can only take the advice, rather the decision, after we have met or seen the responses from these two people. That's why I'm saying it's good that he has responded. But I've further said, I even suspect his response, right? So we don't need to make any noise. Let's give our time. Let's give ourselves time that we interrogate these matters so that we satisfy ourselves that we are in a good process about the whole thing. But if the legal advisor is still present and would still be willing to respond to Honorable Kachalia, let's do that. You may talk.
Thank you very much, Honorable Committee and Honorable members. Firstly, Chair, I'm not confused, and I think maybe this is the point that Honorable Mauto is missing. When I gave the advice, right, Mr. Muchumi had not read the response of the DG. So remember, when I read the advice, already there was a letter dispatched with the DG saying that we are giving you a right of reply up until next week, Friday. Now the fact that the DG has written back to the committee to say that he thinks that what he had given you as a committee sufficiently covers everything. He doesn't need to be given a right of reply. Now that changes the dynamic, because now, as Honorable Kachalia is saying, the committee has the allegations by the DG, and of course, the minister has comprehensively responded to that. Now, what remains is for the committee to formulate an attitude regarding how is the committee going to take this forward. And of course, in the legal opinion, even though the legal opinion precedes what has happened now, we're very strong. We use a very, very strong language on accountability. We use a very strong language on the sense that the committee cannot afford to fail to exercise its oversight constitutional obligations. So So Honorable Mautwe, I'm for accountability. In fact, it's not me, it's the Constitution. And I think now what should happen now, and this is the advice, of course, the committee can either reject or accept it, is the fact that the committee now should be deliberating on what is its attitude. How is it going to take this forward? Because we have sufficient responses or information from both parties now. So the committee needs to deliberate on how are they going to map a way forward. Stop there, Chair, for now. Thanks.
So it means I open up to other members then to have comments, as much as on my side I had concluded this, that we report to the chair what would have transpired, and then he calls for another meeting. The fact that a letter just came in now, and then it changes the whole dynamics, as the advisor says. So may I throw it back to the members then to have the bite on it?
Chair, my hand is up.
Yes, you may speak, Honorable.
Okay. No, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Tisan. You understood what I was saying, and hence your response. And I thank you for that. Because my response, you're right, you're correct. It came after Disang had read the letter. But also in my response, remember I had said that we make a choice to wait for next week, Friday. But as a matter of principle, agree, though we know that we're waiting for next week, Friday, to ask for a parliamentary inquiry. But I just wanted to say, you and I are on the same page. Now, the next week, Friday has been shortened to now. So I think it's time now that we make a decision on what we do. And I'm coming back again to present to the committee, to lobby it and recommend that we speak in one voice and say, let's call for a parliamentary inquiry on this matter. I thank you, Chair. That's all from my side.
Okay. Any other speaker on the matter?
Yes, sir, I support.
Yes,
I support Honorable Mautwe.
My hand is up.
My hand has been up, Chairperson, but I'm trying to get a stable network, but it's been up.
Right. I'll come back to you, Honorable Mkwanazi. Let me give it to Honorable Makak.
Thank you, Chair. I think here we're sort of wanting to rush, and we came to this meeting with preoccupied by positions. I don't think we will be doing our oversight work and taking the executive into account if we just rush to things. Here, there is a legal advice that sought to advise us that now that the DG has responded to our letter, that he is not in a position to write a response or to exercise his right to respond by a letter, but willing to come to the committee to answer any question pertaining to his allegation. Secondly, we have in front of us a response, a very comprehensive response from the minister. And we cannot just, out of the two, jump to the demand of a parliamentary inquiry. What is that? How do we reach that? When, I mean, there is a clear indications that the minister, there's no way that we can jump there without looking at the minister's response, including if we can, because I seeing a situation where next week, perhaps Wednesday, if we still have time, to call the minister to present his input in relation to what he has written there. even if perhaps we seek the legal advice also from the department to present that, and also get the DG to present his case also, or ask questions to him, because they have made this allegation. There's no way that we can left him out of the hook without being interrogated on what he has said. And then it is then that I think we can reach a situation of determining what the way forward out of that. But to just come because we wanted this parliamentary inquiry, we just continue blowing it, even if the direction goes the other side, the parliamentary inquiry, if it goes parliamentary inquiry right through. I think that's too desperate. Let's just allow the two people, the two parties, and we ask questions in relation to what they will be presenting to us on that particular. If the DG doesn't have anything to present, then let's allow the minister to do that, and then we take it from there. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Let's go to Kachalia. Honorable Kachalia.
Chair, having listened to the Honorable Makata's input, I would suggest that makes sense, provided that we summon the minister in the next meeting to appear. If the former Director General wishes to appear, he's welcome to as well. But having said he has nothing further to add, I don't know what that will add to the process. But I think this committee needs to interrogate the minister on the allegations, and then we can move forward. Thank you.
Honorable Mkonazi.
Chairperson, I thought you have just thrown me in the pen. That was on the lighter note. Chairperson, as I said in my first submission, I don't think we differ. So I will just reserve all the comments that I wanted to say for the next meeting. I just wanted to support the processes as outlined by the committee chairperson, Honorable Makaka. I support it. Thank you.
No, thank you. Then may I then close this
I've
item?
long raised my hand, and you haven't recognized.
Hello, is that one?
Honorable Komane, I've
Oh,
long raised my
Komane.
hand.
Yes.
Yeah, but you never
Okay.
recognized me.
Please
Chair,
come.
yeah, Chair, thank you very much. There's no dispute here, but Chair, what we are saying, I don't think the chairperson, the committee chairperson, relates to this issue correctly, as he's saying, if the alleging person doesn't want to come. He never said he doesn't want to come. He said he wants this process to be transparent. He is available at any given time to be called. So as and when the minister is being called, he must also be called. But Chair, we are not. I'm saying we cannot as well rule out the possibility of having a parliamentary inquiry. So we cannot just rubbish it as like throw it in the bin as if it shouldn't be said. It should be said. But Chair, what we are saying now is that Mr. Tlhagudi is saying he is available to come and present in a transparent way, so that it is not seen as if it is him and the minister. He wants this to be done in the presence of the committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's then round up this item and say the chairperson of the committee will then convene us at the appropriate time, and then we discuss and make a decision. We discuss and then take the way forward. In the process, then having concluded this item, may I then hand the reins to the chairperson of the committee, continue with the meeting.
Thank you, Honorable Kumede. Honorable members, the item now is about this second quarter of the year program that will be presented by Mr. Muchumi. Mr. Muchumi?
Yes, Chair.
Yeah, we're waiting for you.
That's the program for the second term, Chair.
Yes.
Today is the first meeting which deals basically with the issue of the legal advice and also the second term program. And then on the 26th of April, which for this term of Parliament, we know that we deal with the APPs and budgets of the departments and state-owned enterprises. So we will get a briefing next week from the Auditor General of SA on the audit outcomes for the APP and the budget of the Department of Public Enterprises and state-owned enterprises. And then on the 3rd of May, but that meeting of the AG will be quite a short meeting, Chair, in case the committee takes any decision. And then the Wednesday, the 3rd of May, is a briefing by DPE on their annual performance plan for Department of Public Enterprises and the shareholder compacts for state-owned companies. And then on the 10th of May, this is a meeting that we actually postponed from last term, which is an update from SAA on the business operations and the issue of the strategic equity partnership. For the issue of the strategic equity partnership, and then the meeting of the 17th, it's basically the Daniel meeting, Chairperson. I put it there as a what do you call it, an alternate, because they had not tabled their annual report yet. So on the 17th, we've got Alex on their annual report and financial statements for 2020, 21, 22. And then we've got the 24th of May, which is the briefing by ESCOM on progress made in addressing load shedding, governance, financial challenges. This meeting might also be a joint meeting with the select committee, because they've got the same meeting that is scheduled to get an update on the issue of the load shedding. And then on the 31st of May, it's a briefing by Department of Rural Development and Land Reform on progress made regarding the land claims affecting SAFCOL and ALEXCO. These matters have been there and the committee have raised them in the last oversight visits. And then on the 7th of June, which is a briefing by the Department of Monitoring and Evaluation on the performance of state-owned companies in advancing the developmental objective of the state. Also an update on the shareholder management bill and reforms affecting state-owned companies. And then the committee is also intending to do a study tour to South Korea or Sweden, which is a process that we're busy with, and the members will be updated on this one. Thanks, Chair.
Oh, thank you, Muchumi. That is it, honorable members. Is there any Honorable Mawotwe, followed by Honorable Kachalia? I think these hands, I'm seeing the hands. I don't know whether it's a legal hands or what.
Yeah, Chair, just a quick one from my side. I see that according to the parliamentary program, 26th April is a leave period. But I see that, Secretary, you scheduled something there. So I just wanted you to clarify me on that one. Sharp.
Okay. Secretary? Secretary?
Yes, Chair. No, it's fine.
No,
We will revise the chair accordingly.
Okay. Okay, Honorable Kashalia.
Chair, the 10th of May is scheduled to look at aspects of SAA. I was wondering if that could be swapped perhaps with whatever is going to come in place of the 26th of April, given the importance of the issue that we've discussed formally, and if that can be addressed then in the interests of speed and justice. Thank you.
Okay. Can you note that, Mr. Muchumi?
Noted, Chair.
Okay. Is there anyone to adopt with those amendments?
Chair, Honorable Suwaya Tembi.
Honorable Suwaya?
Yes, I'm adopting. Thank you.
Okay, Honorable Suwaya has adopted the minutes. Can we? I'm sorry, the program. Can we have a seconder?
Seconded, sir.
Seconded by Honorable Kachalia. That's the end of that particular part. The last one, Mr. Muchumi.
Yes, Chair. It's
What is the
it's an oversight report, Chair.
Okay, can you take us through? Mr. Muchumi.
Yes, Chairperson, the report is there. Yeah, basically it's a report that we undertook with the Portfolio Committee on Mineral Resources and Energy and the Select Committee on Public Enterprises and Communication to ESCOM. The meeting, the oversight visit took place from the 26th to the 27th of January 2022. On the background is that the oversight, it was informed by a petition that was to investigate the South Africa's electricity crisis that was referred by the Speaker to the Committees of Mineral Resources and Energy and the Department of Committee on Public Enterprises. In the same breath, the committee had received a correspondence from the Mr. Kwankwa, who had also complained to the Speaker to say that he wants the committees to have an inquiry into the issue of load shedding, and the Speaker referred the matter to the committees to look into the matter and report back to the House. Secondly, the committees also received a complaint from from NUM, which formed part of some of the issues that we had to raise with ESCOM at the oversight regarding the issues of Kubek Power Station. The delegation of the committee was for three committees to be were part. It was firstly the PC on Minerals and Energy, whom we have listed all there. And then the Select Committee on Public Enterprises and Communication, and the PC on Public Enterprises. And then the parliamentary staff who were present in the meeting, in the oversight. So in our first day, on the 26th of January, the committee basically engaged with the organized labor within the ESCOM that were recognized, which included National Union of Mine Workers, NUMSA, and Solidarity. So basically, it was to get their view on what are the issues that are affecting the performance of ESCOM. These are the issues that were raised by NUM. Their presentation was led by Mr. Phumzile Mvovo, who was the full-time shop steward. The issues are listed over there. I won't go into each and every one of them, Chair. And then the input of the National Union of Metal Workers of South Africa were presented by the national spokesperson, Ms. Phakamile Hlubi-Majola. And these were issues that we have summarized in terms of the gist of what they presented. And then the input of Solidarity, it was summarized into the issues that we have highlighted over there. And then the committee's findings in terms of what was raised by the committee. Basically, the committee appreciated and welcomed the constructive inputs of organized labor, but it was also noted that it was important for unions to sometimes put national interests ahead of their interests and being realistic on their expectations. The committee wanted more clarity on cost, planning, and plant performance on the role of unions in the achievement of this. These were just some of the issues that the committee raised in relation to the union's work. And then we have raised all the issues that the committee raised in relation to the inputs that unions have raised, and then the recommendations that the committee made in relation to the issues that the unions have raised. We've got close to 9 recommendations, okay? And then on that particular day, the committee didn't meet with the board. We only met the board on the 27th. Then on the 27th, the meeting with the board and executive of Eskom, the committee met with the board, and then the presentation was made by Mr. Director. However, Mr. Director in that particular meeting informed the committee that he won't be able to sit for the duration of the oversight, as he's got other meetings that were planned. And the committee obviously raised concerns and rejected the apology. And however, the group CEO did leave the meeting, and the committee raised its concerns. And these are the resolutions that were taken in relation to the particular meeting. The committee took a resolution that the group CEO, in fact, they're saying that the behavior of the group CEO was disrespectful and undermined Parliament and the people of South Africa. And the way forward was that Eskom board and executive will be summoned to Parliament the following, to present the following, which was the immediate solution to Eskom and load shedding. Report on the board member who is said to have said that he can't work with women because they possess low IQ. That was an allegation. And also the spending on IPPs vis-a-vis the maintenance of coal plants. Those were the 3 issues that the committee summoned Eskom to come and present in Parliament. That meeting was held in Parliament. And following the oversight meeting, a delegation of Eskom led by the board attended a physical meeting at Parliament to present, so that we finalize the issues that emanate from the oversight visit. The group chief executive officer was present and in his presentation, and the chairperson, and then they presented on the 3 issues, which is the electricity availability factor, additional capacity, and the government enablers. And then that is all included within the presentation of Eskom. And then in terms of the findings of the committee, these are highlighted in 8.1 to 8.4. And then the meeting, as we speak, by the time the meeting ended, there were issues that the committee had requested Eskom to still forward to the committee for the committee to be able to respond. But these matters were never responded to, and these were the issues that were raised in the recommendations of the committee. So when the committee probably considers this, then the department or the Eskom would respond to the recommendations as presented to the committee. It ends there, Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Machumi. Honorable members, that is the report of the joint committee, portfolio committees, mineral and resource, and our public enterprise committee to ESCOM. Is there anyone who wants to raise anything from that report or adopt?
My hand is up, sir.
Honorable Kachalia's hand is up. Come, Honorable Kachalia.
Thank you. Sir, on 3.1 of the proposed report, I would suggest that instead of highlighted, we insert spoke to and alleged, because that's what it was. We spoke to them and they alleged various things. That's 3.1. In terms of 4.11, I'd say that we noted the inputs of organized labor and urged and recommended unions to place national interests above their interests and to be realistic, as it says, about their expectations, etc. Particularly, we should add, in view of the crisis that we are facing, and the background to this is bearing in mind that in terms of the Constitution, the employees are regarded as essential workers. And I would suggest that that goes into recommendations and not findings. In terms of 6.6, Mr. Derator informed the delegation that he would be leaving early. And the fact is that he has accepted his apology for earlier departure, which was subsequently challenged and criticized by members of the delegation. So that is actually what happened. It's not various members of the delegation had various things to say about Mr. Derator and his early departure, which was, as I say, initially accepted by the joint chairs. So I would propose those changes. Thank you very much.
Okay, Honorable Kachalia. Who else wants to have a bite? Or adopt? I'm still on
Chairperson, adopted.
platform. Okay, Isaac, Honorable Isaac, adopt. Is there any seconder?
With the amendments proposed, Chair, or not?
Chair, I second. Chairperson, can we consider I know you said it's not easy, but can you push with this to the committee secretary the issue of attending physically? It's really hitting us hard into your network. Thank you.
Yes, Minnie, yes, you are 100% correct. It's really frustrating. You know, if you can know where I am now, where I parked in order to get a better position, you can laugh at me, but I'm parking here. It's because of this problem. It's seemingly affecting us on a daily basis now. Honorable members,
Chairperson,
thank you.
Chairperson, sorry. Please just confirm for the Secretariat that the minutes adopted are with the amendments as proposed. Thank you.
Yes, of course. Honorable members, that is I think that's the last item in our schedule. If I may declare this meeting closed, and thank everybody that attended the meeting, you honorable members, the staff, including our invitees. The meeting is tend to be adjourned now. Thank you.